Dear fellow Tibetans and friends of Tibet, in the past few weeks, so many people and organizations from different countries, including the United States, Canada, Italy, United Kingdom, Japan, and India and South Africa, have graciously held farewell events to thank me for my 10 years of service. Now, it is my turn to say thank you. I thank my fellow Tibetans, inside and outside Tibet, for your unwavering support and prayers. Serving you as the Sikyong has been the greatest honor of my life. You gave me the opportunity to fulfill my late father's last words, to be of service to our root guru, His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, and to work for the cause of our occupied nation Tibet. I also thank old and new friends of Tibet for standing with us in our freedom struggle. When I reflect on my life, I am overwhelmed with a profound sense of gratitude to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. No part of the journey that took a child from a tiny refugee community in Darjeeling and led him eventually to assume the title of the first ever Sikyong would have been remotely possible without the efforts, wisdom, and great vision of His Holiness. Over the last decade or so, we have witnessed China's increasing power and an escalating belligerence in refusing to engage in any discussion about human rights and democracy. From my official visits as the Sikyong, I have experienced firsthand the effects of the Chinese government pressure on different governments across the world to distance themselves from the central Tibetan administration, which China accuses as being a splittist organization. The enormous pressure exerted by the Chinese government resulted in the last-minute cancellation of my meetings or downgrading the contact with lower-ranking officials. To fulfill my mandate as Sikyong, I formulated new strategies to elevate CTA's profile and to express our willingness to restore dialogues with China to obtain genuine autonomy for the Tibetan people based on the middle way approach. I met with various foreign government officials in small coffee shops, private offices, and other public locations. I gave priority to substance and relationship building while making concerted efforts to upgrade protocol and the level of meetings whenever I could. Finally, during the last months of my term, I was able to visit the U.S. State Department and the White House as the Sikyong of the CTA and as the legitimate representative of the Tibetan people. These developments, along with the passage of the Tibetan Policy and Support Act of 2020 by the U.S. Congress, mark a new turn in the relationship between the U.S. and the CTA. I hope our relations with our countries take a similar turn. I'm committed to ensuring the smooth transition of power to the President-elect, Lhakpa Tsering Hall. It is the responsibility of every Tibetan to support him in the global advocacy efforts for Tibet and the Tibetan people. I wish, on behalf of my colleagues here, the incoming Sikyong and his Kashak all the very best. I would like to thank my colleague in both the 14th and 15th Kashak, who are standing with me today, and also senior advisors including Pema Chinjola, and the dedicated and hardworking staff of the CTA. We work together through the historic devolution of political and administrative power from His Holiness the Dalai Lama to an elected Tibetan leadership. Together, we strengthen support for Tibet from various governments and legislatures across the globe. Together, we invested in education, ensured financial resiliency of the CTA and the Tibetan refugee community. I'm overwhelmed by a sense of pride to see the growing political engagement, whether it be in the general elections or in the public discourse. As a Sikyong, I face my share of criticisms, but I have often mentioned that I am grateful to my critics because their practice of free speech strengthens our young democracy. Nevertheless, each one of us should ensure that our words and actions are directed towards the greater good and the cause of Tibet. The sacrifices made by our elders and our brothers and sisters in occupied Tibet should guide our efforts, strengthen and reinvigorate our cause. We must never forget the struggles of Tibetans inside Tibet. We must never forget the 155 Tibetans, of which 133 died from self-immolation. Many elders have asked me for my opinion on our younger generation, our youth, and the clarity of the vision as Tibetans, even though Tibet is an imagined homeland for many of them, has inspired me deeply. I am witness to their determination, potential, and their focus on Tibetan inside Tibet, who are systematically denied the most basic human rights and dignity. We must support their vision and augment their efforts amongst youth across the Tibetan diaspora, for we are only strong if we are united and work as one community. The cause of Tibet is a litmus test for the world. In a statement released on March 10th this year, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Honorable Nancy Pelosi, expressed her support for Tibet and stated that if we do not stand up for human rights in China due to commercial interests, then we lose all moral authority to talk about human rights in any place in the world. I want to express my gratitude and applaud courageous and principled individuals, elected officials, organizations, and the Tibet support groups who continue to advocate for the legitimate cause of Tibet. The story of the Tibetan freedom struggle is incomplete without acknowledging India, our closest friend, Hamara Bharat. I express my deepest gratitude to this great country and its people for their generosity and continued support for the Tibetan people. India and many parts of the world are facing an unprecedented global pandemic. On behalf of the Tibetan people, I express our solidarity with the people of India and others around the world as we battle this pandemic. As my role as the Sikyong comes to an end, many people have asked me what I look forward to the most. I look forward to spending more time with my family, especially with my daughter, and learning how to beat her at our new favorite online game. My role as the Sikyong ends today, but my resolve to fight for the Tibetan cause will continue and will remain strong forever. I was born a freedom fighter, and I'll die a freedom fighter. Pyogyalo Tujishe.